Hello all you wonderful people out there, Kevin from CC Pipe here, where we focus on productivity and pipeline for creatives. This is also my very first video that I record for this channel, so if you're watching, thank you very much for doing so. And that said, let's jump into today's topic, which is batch renaming. So what's batch renaming? Somewhat self-explanatory perhaps, but it's simply renaming multiple files all at once. And why should you care about this? Well, let's say you're working on some personal projects, you might not have a huge amount of files that you're dealing with. But when you get into production, you might not be working with just a few files, but perhaps 100 or even more. And imagine renaming all of those manually. Now, this is a Adobe Bridge feature, so let's jump into Bridge. And here we are in Adobe Bridge, and here I have a folder called 06 Demos with some example files here, some photographs. And as you can see, they only have the sort of default camera name applied to them. And this tool, batch rename, is found under Tools and Batch Rename, and I like to use shortcuts, so it's Ctrl-Shift-R for that one. So you just select the images or files that you want to change the file name of, and Ctrl-Shift-R, and we're greeted with this dialog right here. And there's a bit of everything here, but we have some options for presets. If you find something that you really like, you can save it, and some options for saving and other things here. But this one, new file names, is really where our main focus is going to be. So how this works is that you basically build up your file name, and you can choose from the list here, and these are our sort of presets. And let's start off with something simple. And by the way, I'm not going to show you each and every one of these, but some of them are quite self-explanatory. So I'm just trying to sort of explain to you the idea how this works. And one of the simplest things, I think, is, for example, if we want to keep the current file name, but it's maybe a bit messy and we only want, let's say, lowercase, we could do it this way. And in the preview here, we can also see what we will be ending up with. And let's move on with a bit more of a practical example. And let's say this is a project that we're working on. And we want to rename this file so that they are somewhat more logical. And we could start off with maybe the folder name that they are in. So we can choose from the list here, folder name, and that, as you can see, is 06 Demos. And then we can add another one of these, and we continue with exactly this one that we already have, the top one, text, and that is as simple as it can get, simply the text that you'll write in here. And we want this to be called image, just to add that this is an image, right? And one thing to note as well is that Bridge doesn't know whether you want spaces in between here. So as you can see, we need to add those ourselves. And I will add a space before and one after like this. And then we have another problem. And that is that right now all the files will have the same name, and that doesn't really work out, does it? So we'll add another one, and we have some options. But sequence number, for example, sounds pretty good. And we can choose what we want, how many digits we want to use. We have 18 files here, so let's choose 2 digits. That will be just fine. And here is the number that you want to start with. So we could start with 1, and you could start with 11 if you wanted, and whatever you really want. But 1 is fine for now. But that's a good one if you actually have already a series and you want to continue that. You will just do it this way. Very handy. And when you're done with this, you can just press rename. And now we can see that Bridge has successfully renamed all of these files for us as we wanted it to. And it's looking nice so far. Let's continue with this then, and we can adjust this a bit more perhaps. Another very handy feature in here is the string substitution. This is the bottom one right here. This is kind of a search and replace one. And let's say that our naming convention at our company is not that we use spaces, but we use underscores. So we'll just say find spaces and replace with underscore. And now we can see that we get just underscores instead in the preview down here. So when we're done with that, we can just say rename once again, or press enter like this. And now we only have underscores. And one little thing that is bothering me is that we don't have a capital I on image. So let's actually, well, we could also just search and replace image with a lowercase I and replace it with an uppercase I. But let's just do this instead. And we go current file name and lowercase, like I showed you earlier. And we go rename. And now we have no capital letters whatsoever. And this is starting to look pretty neat, I think, now. Lastly, I wanted to give you more of an advanced example of how you can use the batch rename feature. And in case you didn't really get much out of this and you already knew these things, maybe this is something you haven't stumbled upon before. And this is kind of a hidden feature, so I can definitely understand that you'd missed that. I didn't know about it until lately, actually. And for this demo, I have some new files here. It's the same files, actually, but with some new file names. And as you can see, they are kind of all over the place. And the only thing they have in common, really, is this 6-digit sequence number. Let's call this as a code for now. And like I said, that's the only consistent thing here. And let's say we actually only want to keep that code. That's the thing that matters. And how would we be doing this? Because there isn't much we can work with. Well, there is one thing that's consistent, and that is the fact that there's 6 numbers at the beginning. But it's not the same number, so we can't just search and replace and do anything like that. There is something called general expression, if you're not already familiar with it, and that can actually help us out here. So we'll select all these files and go batch rename once again. And we want the string substitution. And right here, there is a checkbox called use regular expression. I think this will be checked off as a default, but I've done this earlier. But we need to make sure this is checked. And when we've done that, we can actually type in general expression syntax here to help us with our find and replace. And luckily, you know, this is code, so somewhat scary, but luckily we don't actually have to know the syntax by heart. And to our rescue is Adobe InDesign. So let's jump into Adobe InDesign. And here we are in Adobe InDesign, and what we want is the find and change window, and that you'll find with pressing Ctrl F. And under here we see that there is a tab called GREP, and that is basically general expression for InDesign. And what we have here is actually now, if you click here, a list of plenty of different features that we can pick from, and we don't need to know the syntax. And you just pick from the list, and then you see that it writes it out like this. So we don't need to know it. And what are we looking for? We are looking for numbers, and the numbers will be different. So we want any kind of number. And there's something called wildcard here that seems very promising. And under here we have any digit. And by the way, some of these, and probably a lot of them, are specific to InDesign, so all of them probably won't work in Adobe Bridge, but you know, it's worth a shot. And this is now any number. And we want more than any number, we want 6 numbers. So we'll actually type in any digit. Actually, let's copy this and we can paste it with 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we have any number 6 times, so it will only be positive if we have 6 numbers in a row. Right, and we'll jump over to Bridge, and oh, I just need to correct this. Go to the right files and select them, and there we go. Now we wanted to type in 6 numbers, so we copy this in. And now we can see that we find 6 numbers, and take that away in the example here because we haven't said anything. So let's say we just type it works. And as you can see, yeah, we find 6 numbers. But that wasn't actually what we wanted to do. We wanted to take away what's after the numbers. So we need to be a bit more advanced in here as well. So let's jump back into InDesign. And what are we looking for here? Well, we're looking for anything after 6 numbers. And there is something called match here. And here we have positive look behind, negative look behind, positive look ahead, negative look ahead. If you're an Adobe InDesign user, I highly recommend learning how these work with GREP because they are very useful. And what we want now is positive look behind. And how this works is that basically we say what is going to be behind what we're trying to replace, which is all the garbage at the end of the code in our case. And we want to find, before that, we want to find 6 numbers. So we'll type this, any digit. I remember it from before. We can also grab it from the menu if we want, which is under here, wildcard, any digit once again. And we want 6 of those. So I'll do that, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we have successfully typed in 6 numbers, and anything after that is going to be taken away. So we need another wildcard here, and we want any character, and we want it to be repeated, because any character would just be one character, and we want it to be repeated one or more times, and there we have it. And we don't want to change it to anything, but that isn't something we actually need to write in here. So we'll just copy this string of code here, whatever you want to call it, and go over to bridge once again. And yet again, I'm in the wrong folder, so we'll go back here. And now let's try this that we have here and see what we get. And oh, something strange going on. Now let's take that one away. And now we can actually see that we are not having anything else left here other than our 6-number code. And that's exactly what we wanted. So now we'll just press rename, and we can see that we are only left with our code. So that was basically the advanced tip that I wanted to give you. And once again, I didn't show you all of the features that are in this list here. There's plenty of them, and feel free to check them out on your own. And most of them are, of course, quite self-explanatory. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how this works. And let me tell you, this is definitely a feature that will save you time. I heartily recommend that you start using it if you haven't already. And I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It helps me out a lot. And also, if you have any productivity questions or suggestions for future videos, make sure to throw those in the comments below. Once again, thank you, and until next time, have a good one.